For the past 25 years, Out on Screen has presented an annual Vancouver Queer Film Festival. What started as a small niche event has become the city's second biggest film fest, and the big anniversary event kicks off tonight. Joining me now is Shana Myara, the festival's Director of Programming. Good afternoon, Shana.
Good afternoon.
How did this film festival get started?
Well, the film festival got started with a group of volunteers. They came together in anticipation of the Gay Games, actually. They wanted to create a cultural component to go along with it. Some locals, including Graham Pete, who owns Videomatica, came together and they made a small festival happen that first year. And then since then, it's grown. It really started with a group of volunteers who are quite keen. They shipped films over the border through some allies at the NFB. Some surreptitious things were happening because we weren't looked so kindly upon back then.
What do you mean by that?
Some films would get confiscated at the border. If they were labeled as submissions to the Out on Screen Queer Film Festival, they would get submitted, or they would get confiscated. If they were coming to, say, the NFB, they would ship through just fine.
Wow. So what did the first festival look like then?
The first festival was a smaller affair. Unfortunately, I wasn't here for it. A lot of experimental shorts, video art was the form of the day. Early filmmakers, John Grayson, who's a Canadian gay filmmaking pioneer, I believe one of his films was part of it. We have some records of the first program at the office, and they're pretty wonderful to look at.
When you first started, or when the festival first started, what was its goal? What was its big vision?
Well, the big vision was really to create a safe place in the city where gay, lesbian, transgender audiences could come together and really just see films that represented some aspect of their lives on the screen. Especially 25 years ago, that was quite a special experience to be able to share in a room full of people. And today we're pretty much reaching that same goal.
It's interesting because mainstream movies have certainly more gay and lesbian characters and LGBTQ themes, and television does especially. What is the role now for a Vancouver Queer Film Festival?
Well, we're quite focused on our community. We're a real annual celebration. It's a chance for our community to come together in 11 really extraordinary days. Yes, there are more and more representations of gays and lesbians in popular media, but we're bringing films that are curated from around the globe that maybe delve into issues a little bit more deeply, give us a chance for dialogue across our community, learn about the situation on the ground in other countries, let's say, and really just become those audiences that support the work of our gay and lesbian filmmakers.
Aside from having some of your film reels yanked at the border unless they were sent to the NFB, I also understand the first year the BC Film Classification Office tried to shut down a screening. Is that right?
Well, hilariously, it was not the first year. It was in 2003.
Oh,
not
I'm
so
sorry.
long ago. Only 10 years ago.
What happened there?
We showed a film by a pioneering local filmmaker named Erilyn Weissman. It's called Little Sisters versus Big Brother, about the bookstore Little Sisters, and they know a little bit about their product getting confiscated at the border. And we were about to show that film, which I believe later on was rated G or PG by the same classification board. But someone there thought that the film should be pulled, and they tried to stop us from showing it that evening. But the show ended up going on. Why did they think
it should be pulled?
I think they were worried that maybe they would be portrayed in a bad light. Maybe they thought that by mentioning just the name of the bookstore, there would be material in the film that was controversial or what they would consider obscene. It was not at all. It was a film essentially about censorship. So, you see the irony just all over the place there, that they were trying to prevent that film in particular from being shown.
And I know that even to this day, Little Sister sometimes has issues getting stuff.
They do. They just celebrated an anniversary as well. They've been doing this for a long time and are pioneers in the community for sure.
And what about the film festival? Do you still have to sneak films through the NFB?
No, we've been luckier. Also with digital media, we're shipping things a little differently these days. So
over the tubes.
Sometimes, yeah.
So what's special about this year's festival?
Well, we've turned 25. We'd like to think that that's a really big, extraordinary deal. I think back to 25 years ago, and I was in high school in Nanaimo, BC, and it's kind of extraordinary to me now to think that the festival was happening when I was that person in high school. So we reached an age where we think we're wise and old and know everything, but actually we're still pretty young in the scheme of things.
Right. And any big films stick out for you as you're particularly looking forward to?
Yes, well, tonight we're opening with a film called Magnificent Presence. It's by the same filmmaker who made Steam, Turkish Bath, which a lot of people might be familiar with. It's an Italian film, and it really speaks to the role that history plays in our everyday life. And it's about a theater troupe that actually emerge as ghosts in our protagonist's life. And they're ghosts. They're a theater troupe from 1943 who still believe that they're under fascist rule. So we see that the interplay between the past and the present. It's quite a beautiful film.
Shana, thank you so much for telling us about it. I'm going to be giving away some free tickets as well.
Oh, delightful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Shana Myara is the Director of Festival Programming for Out on Screen. The Vancouver Queer Film Festival opens tonight and it runs until August 25th.